Greetings to you this day. This is Michelle Strickland, and I'm coming to you today with Conversations with Self. What you gonna talk about today, Michelle? What you gonna say today? You ain't really had a whole lot to say. What you gotta say today? Well, I'm gonna talk about this, the rotation again, to discuss, criminal justice reform. Oh my God, yeah, oh my God. But you've talked about it now for a long time, for a long time. Did people notice? I don't know. I don't know if they noticed or not. But if they go back in your old videos, they'll see that you've discussed it. And you talk about it in your meditations and your devotions about the bullies and the bad guys, the good guys, the bad guys. You got good guys in high places. You got bad guys in high places. You got good guys in low places. You got bad guys in low places and everything in between. So what you got to say, Michelle? Come on. Nobody wants to hear you rant. Well, yeah, let me hurry up because, most people don't want to hear about it, but it's important. It's important. And so I'm going to stand up for criminal justice reform. I believe in I believe in justice for all. And I don't believe, if you're a criminal, that you should be allowed to continue to harass people that aren't bothering anybody. If they're not breaking any laws, there's no reason for you to harass them. Go ahead, Michelle. In a nation built on the principles of liberty and justice for all, it's crucial that our criminal justice system reflects these ideas. Today, I'm calling for change, advocating for fair and just criminal justice policies and practices that uplift our communities. People shouldn't have to be in their neighborhoods and afraid to walk down the street. I walk anyway, even though, most of the time it's just fine. You never know. But I'm just saying, we should feel safe to be able to walk around without worrying about bad guys. Criminal justice reform isn't just a buzzword, it's necessity. Our system should be a beacon of fairness, ensuring equal treatment to every individual regardless of their background. It's time to break the chains of outdated policies and embrace a new era of justice, one that is compassionate, equitable, and rehabilitative. Did you know that disparities exist within our system? From racial inequalities to economic disparities, we must address these issues head on. It's time to level the playing field and build a system that truly works for everyone. And I think people need to look at the criminal justice system too, and quit holding people, past the time that they should be let go if they've proven themselves, if they haven't, if their crimes, it's something that we all need to look at. I'm not saying release dangerous people. I'm not saying that. I'm saying we need to reform in all areas. Don't just, not one, look at everything, as far as even our safety out here, walking around on these streets especially. But I'm saying we need to look at what's going on in the system too, and see what's fair and what's not fair. We need to look at the whole thing. Did you know, also the criminal justice reform isn't about being soft on crime. It's about being smart on justice. We need policies that focus on rehabilitation, not punishment. A system that empowers individuals to reintegrate into society successfully when we can. When we can. I'm not advocating, letting the bad guys out. I'm far from that. I think that we need to deal with people quicker and quit letting the bad guys, go and do the same thing, and then they showing us they not doing anything better. Then that's something we need to look at. We need to look at the whole thing. I think we need to make sure. We need to look at it all. Rehabilitation is the key to breaking the cycle of crime. By investing in education, job training, and mental health services, we can get individuals the tools they need to rehabilitate their lives. And I believe in that. And I worked in social services and education, most of my career, you know. If there's patterns of people that shows that they're not trying to do the right thing, that's something else to look at, you know. But we need to look at that too, that, you know, we need to make it where people don't want to come back to jail, so they try to straighten up. But that's stuff we all need to look at. We're not just trying to, I don't think using criminal justice as a weapon towards innocent people is right either. When you see that somebody's innocent, then leave them alone, but give them the information and tell them why you investigating them if they ask you. Don't criminalize and weaponize the criminal justice system, especially against innocent people. Don't target innocent people, especially once you see they're not doing anything. That's criminal. What we can do is, you know, we got to work together. I can't do it by myself, you know. And I know people think, you know, who is she? Well, who are you? Who are you? Don't you want to be safe? I want to be safe. I don't want people bullying me. The criminals and the frauds and the scammers are getting away with too much. And we need to deal with them a lot faster. Especially when we know they're showing us a pattern that they're not trying to be right. And you see they doing the wrong thing, that's who you need to deal with. It's time for communities and law enforcement to work hand in hand, fostering trust and cooperation. You know, I do my civic duty. I can talk. Together we can create a safer, more just society. You know, I'm not saying to, you know, to be mean to people, but you know, keep the people safe that's trying to do the right thing, you know, and get the bullies off the street and deal with them. You know, but then there's a cycle of all of that we need to look at too with these folks, you know. If they're showing, depending on what's going on with them, we need to look at it and then determine where to go from there. Instead of just throwing people in there and then locking the door and the key and taking the key out and throwing it somewhere, you know, especially with people that don't deserve to be in there and you know they don't. So I want us to look at the whole thing. Let your voice be heard. Advocate for criminal justice reform. Contact your representatives. Engage with community organizations and be a part of the change. Together we can build a system that truly affects the values of justice, equality, and compassion. And I do that. I'm for everybody. I'm for everybody. Not just a certain group of people, you know. And I think our safety is very important. But I also think that reform is important too.